Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been so long since I posted anything, but we had some news drop today on the WoW Community Council forum on the Blizzard forums, and everyone is talking about this eye-level squish that is being proposed. It's not a for sure thing. It's just something that people are tossing around now and that the Blizzard devs are hearing. Everyone's asking for my opinions on it, and I feel like I may as well just share with you like my personal thoughts, and you're welcome to disagree with me. In fact, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to try to answer, debate any arguments to this alongside you. Now, the proposal is this. They are suggesting an eye-level squish for Tier 9, Tier 10, Season 7, and Season 8. The way that looks is they would just reduce the eye level of items from TOC and onwards, which means Tier 9, Tier 10, Onyxia, Ruby Sanctum, Season 7, and Season 8. The whole point of this is to give more relevance to Ulduar once TOC is released. This is to increase the difficulty of ICC also by reducing overall power creep by players. Obviously, this has implications with PvP as well. Personally, look, I don't like this change for a lot of reasons. I really don't. I think it's too much. First of all, let's talk about TOC. Tier 9. Now, it's not everyone's favorite raid. By no means. I mean, there are a lot of issues with Tier 9. Absolutely. I think they do a good thing with giving us no trash on any bosses, but the amount of bosses there are is like a fraction of how many there are in Ulduar. And so the raid is like done immediately. Plus, they're already making one change to TOC where we know we won't have both 10-man normal and 10-man heroic and 25 normal and 25 heroic. We're either going to have those IDs be shared or we're going to be able to pick per boss on whether it's normal or heroic. And this is detailed here in this change, just right below. That's still being worked out. We're not 100% sure what that's going to be. But either way, we're looking at about half the time spent in TOC. Just in general, because the way that the IDs work. On top of that, we already know that Blizzard is for sure going to give us a cooldown reset when we kill bosses. So the only thing that was delaying us in TOC, keep in mind if we were doing heroic TOGC, this raid takes about 40 minutes max, 45 minutes, something like that. You're killing 5 bosses. It takes no time at all. What we would do on the private server scene, just so you're aware, is after we would kill a boss, we would all leave the instance, fly up into the air, dismount, and fall to our deaths so that we would reset our sated buff. Go back inside the instance, maybe wait 60 seconds, let the roleplay go out, talk about the next boss fight coming out, and then we'd pull the boss, pop lust, and kill that boss, and go on to the next one. Zone out, fly up, kill ourselves again, and go back into the instance to reset sated. So what they're doing with the new change about resetting cooldowns is great. I actually do like that change, for sure. But what it's doing is also shortening our time in TOC. So not only do we have half the time in the instance alone because of no normal and heroic, but we also are going to be pulling bosses faster and faster on top of the fact that there's no trash. And you want to reduce the item level of TOC. Like, we are murdering TOC. It is already one of the worst raids in general, but it doesn't have to be that bad. Like, TOC has a lot of good things going for it. The boss fights aren't terrible. Hell, a new Barak is probably like a top 5, maybe not top 5, maybe top 7 fight in the expansion. Anu Barak's a great fight. Like, Twin Valks is beloved by a lot of people as a really fun fight for people to go Super Saiyan on. The damage increase on that fight is really, really fun. Everyone loves a good damage increase fight. That's a great one. Some of these fights are loved. Obviously, like the Faction Champs fight is terrible, but what are you gonna do? You can't win them all. Anyway, TOC is getting absolutely murdered left, right, and center here, and it's just ridiculous. Everyone's like so worried about Ulduar not having any relevancy, but that's just not the case. When you log in and you have TOC and the only thing you can do is like 2 IDs of TOC and that's it and you're done for the week, what else are you going to do? You're going to go back to Ulduar. It's going to happen. You don't need the eye level incentive to go back to Ulduar. The incentive's already there. 2 things, major things. It's Valinir. People will continue to go back to Ulduar just as people continue to go back to Black Temple for Warglaves. People will go back to Ulduar to farm up their Valinir shards. They're reliable drops. The raid is still fun. It's still a really good way to catch up on alts because again, you're not going to have a whole lot of time spent getting gear in TOC, so there's going to be a ton more pieces for you to get your alts caught up to. And it's a really, really phenomenal raid for GDKPs. So all of those things said, like, people will still be doing Old War in TOC. I feel like it's people are just kind of blind to the fact that you won't ever go back into Old War. And that's just not the case. Like, look at how you're playing the video game now in TBC. We are going back to Black Temple constantly, and it's a very, very similar situation. The GDKPs in Black Temple are great, and the Warglaves are still sought after by people. It's still the same situation. It really is. At least that's how I see it. Now, the other thing that we want to talk about is the increase in difficulty in ICC by reducing power creep. I don't think this is how you fix power creep, and I don't think this is how you fix the difficulty of ICC. In fact, what I would want to propose here is how ICC difficulty is approached. The way it works is every week that an ICC exists, there's a 5% buff added to players in the raid. After however many weeks, you're going to hit 30% power, and that's going to exist for the rest of the expansion. That's just how ICC works. So the most revered and the most impressive ICC kills are the 0% Light of Dawn kills. Now, of course, you can turn these buffs off, which I just don't love the philosophy of that. Instead of turning them off and instead of giving us 5% every week, what I would suggest is give us like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Give us a good portion of ICC of 0%. Do not give us any player buff. Do not give us 5% every week so that we feel a power creep. We're already getting a power creep. We are literally existing in ICC, like progressing the bosses, killing the bosses, farming them, or getting Shadowmourns built up and crafted, getting more tier loot. Like, we're power creeping just by doing the raid. We don't need the artificial power creep of the 5% every week. That is what should be addressed, not eye level power creep. To me, the eye level power creep and trying to, gatekeep that is just super anti-fun. Like we play the game and stick around in phases that we don't enjoy, like tier 9, for example, because we know what's on the horizon. We know that there's a good raid on the horizon. We know that there are good trinkets on the horizon. And that stuff is really exciting. People want to be able to hit their hard cap armor pin, not just a soft cap armor pin. They want to hit that hard cap armor pin and get the heroic DBWs and just see their character go from a B tier to an S plus tier class. Like, that is good, fun power creep. That's fun power creep. Reducing the eye level of some of those stats would just be really anti-fun and just not what we want from the video game. So if you get anything from this, it's 2 things. Please, leave TOC alone. I mean, I don't love TOC, but let me defend it for a second and let it just not be like the absolute worst phase of all time. And just please leave it alone. Like, we've done so much to TOC. It's already going to be over in no time, so just please leave it alone. And then 2 is chill with the power creep concerns with ICC. Just delay the buffs, the 30% buff for as long as you can. Maybe give us a phase 4 and then a phase 4.5 for ICC. That could be how you approach it. I don't care how you do it, but these are just my suggestions. I feel like that mentality is going to be way more productive, way more satisfactory for the player, and just more fun. Anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I usually don't do reaction videos like this, but I was tagged a lot on Discord this morning about this, and I do have opinions about it. So if you guys felt like hearing my opinion was helpful at all, or if you agree with me, please just like this video. If you want, you can share it with your guilds. If you want to, if this is what you agree with. And if you want, please feel free to blow up the video and hope that our voices get heard. I really do think we do have some influence here. Like, if we want our voices to be heard, we do have to kind of shout them from the rooftops sometimes. So share this video if you do agree with me. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to close it out here. Peace.